the keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about another training camp battle, and it's Jaylon Moore versus Daniel Brunskill. And a shocking development last year with Daniel Brunskill versus Aaron Banks. Brunskill wins.
It's true.
Can he beat out Jaylon Moore, another draft compadre of Aaron Banks? It's going to be interesting. Matt Miyoko says Jaylon Moore has continued his transition to the inside.
It's continuing his transition to the inside, and let's not forget also that Jaylon Moore has a start under his belt in the NFL. Started a football game for the 49ers last year, so it's not like it's one start. It's not even enough, but it's not like he hasn't played any football in San Francisco. It's not like they don't have a barometer to measure what he needed to work on. They definitely do. So before we get too far into this, like and subscribe right now. Notification bell, smack that thing. Once you've done all of that, Moore or Brunskill, which way are you leaning? Because we're now going to discuss, and this is an interesting one because my heart tells me the best case scenario for San Francisco is Jaylon Moore. My brain says, much like Kyle Shanahan's big brain has said, Daniel Brunskill is a hard guy to beat out. A lot of people thought Aaron Banks was taking that job from Brunskill last year, and I sat here on this podcast and said I didn't see it happening. If it did happen, it wouldn't be till later in the year when Banks had to maybe developed a little bit more and showed a little bit more in practices, maybe put on some strength and other things. It looks like it took a full year, and now Banks is going to be the guy. It's just going to be the Tomlinson replacement. Can anyone unseat Daniel Brunskill, or has he just got that right guard spot all locked up?
It's going to be tough. I don't think this is going to be easy at all. And, there was a lot of people that tried to talk you away from that last year about Brunskill. And Brunskill has just consistently went out there and played well, and he consistently goes out there and plays, and I think that's a big part of it. You had Laken Tomlinson and Daniel Brunskill, who you knew you could count on every single game to strap it up and go get it done. Now, Brunskill has, of course, some things that he could get better at. There's some weaknesses in his game, but I think there's weaknesses in a lot of players' games. But we know what we're going to get out of Daniel Brunskill, which is pretty good play. He's a guy that can go out there and handle his role. There's going to be moments he's going to look bad, and that happens to every NFL player. But there's also moments and things that he does that are absolutely fantastic that a lot of players in the NFL can't do, and players that fit into Kyle Shanahan's system can't do. Daniel Brunskill is a very good second-level blocker. Daniel Brunskill is a good run blocker. There are some areas when he struggles with certain type of pass rushers, not named Aaron Donald, because if for some reason he can handle him. Now, last year, when the Moore and Banks thing happened, we had a lot of conversations, and one of those conversation points was, if we get to 2022 and Moore and Banks are able to be the guards, the 49ers team overall is so much better. The line is so much better. We could be approaching that, because what that does is that frees up Daniel Brunskill to be a swing tackle candidate. That frees him up to go compete with Jake Brendel and play center. There's a lot of things the 49ers could do with Brunskill, but I've been about this the entire time. If Jaylon Moore can't beat Brunskill, it's better for the 49ers to leave Brunskill at guard and not move him. That's the best situation. I think Moore has a puncher's chance. He's got to go give Daniel Brunskill a haymaker. And when it comes down to it, it still might not be enough to unseat Brunskill, because Brunskill, camaraderie with Mike McGlinchey and the way that he plays, they just trust Daniel Brunskill. It's going to take a lot. We'll see if Jaylon Moore can go get it done.
Let's not forget one key thing also, TCC, and my compatriot here next to me. It's a contract year. This is a man who is now playing for all the marbles. He has every reason to go put his best season together. He has every reason to make all the stars aligned and get it done, because what's going to happen if he does? That man is going to get paid potentially $13 million by somebody else, but he's got to put together that kind of season. If he puts together that kind of season and it's been a slow build towards it, teams are thinking this guy is coming into his own, not peaked. And if he's coming into his own, someone is willing to throw out that kind of money, what we just saw from Laken Tomlinson, a guy who's been consistently available in the league, and when he's been playing guard, has played at a very high level, and they're all going to have film of him versus Aaron Donald. They will all have that film. They'll all be able to look at that and go, that's the potential. The potential is, being able to stop the best interior pass rusher in the league on any given down. We just got to find a way to get that consistently. If he gets closer to that this year, someone is going to pay him big bucks come the offseason and come time. It probably won't be San Francisco, but that's A-okay. I agree with you, though. The best case for the 49ers in this offensive line is Jaylon Moore beating him out for this. But he has to go prove it. Now, here's the good news for Jaylon Moore. The good news is you have one of the best front four groups, not just front four groups in all of football. Meaning, even if he's taking second team reps, he's going up against first team type talent. These are guys who would be starters in a lot of other places in the league. So he's going to have every opportunity and ample opportunity to show it game in and game out, practice in, practice out, all preseason long and all training camp long, that, hey, you know what? I should be with that first group. But I do think there's something to be said about what you brought up about Brunskill and Mike. Oh my goodness gracious, Mike McGlinchey's. I almost said McCarthy, then almost said McDaniels, and I was like, it's a lot of mix, but it's not the right mix. McGlinchey. The chemistry that those two have and have developed over the past few seasons plays well in Daniel Brunskill's favor. They know what each other want. They know how to communicate. They know how to get the job done on that side of the line the way they need to get it done, and that's going to play into that role more so than it will Jaylon Moore, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Jaylon Moore is at a disadvantage. It just means there's an extra obstacle there that he's got to climb. He's going to have to get familiar with his right tackle.
Yeah, there's just no guarantee that Daniel Brunskill is just not going to be a better player. He's going to go into year 2 finally playing the same position. From 2019 to 2020, he just moved around. Whether he was a swing tackle in 2019 to 2020, just being guard/center, moving around there. And then 2020, when he finally gets his spot at guard. And the whole time we're all talking about, I know I am, is Aaron Banks going to come in there and take his job? And now here we go, 2022, Daniel Brunskill, can Jaylon Moore take his spot? And these young cats have a lot of athletic ability. Jaylon Moore is a tremendous athlete. I think one of his areas that he needs to improve is in the run blocking area. Is he going to be able to move someone off their spot? Pass blocking, he's going to be able to handle his own. I think that's where Daniel Brunskill still has an advantage over Jaylon Moore's in the run blocking area. And Brunskill could just be better. It could be as simple as that. But we're going to see when we get out to training camp. And I think this is going to be one of those battles that's fun to watch. And I think both of these guys make the 49ers team better. Because when it comes down to it, like you said, if Jaylon Moore wins, that's the best situation for the 49ers. But if Daniel Brunskill wins the job, I think we can still feel comfortable that we have a solid player out there. Is he going to be a Pro Bowler? No. Is he going to go out there and get Laken Tomlinson contract? Probably not.
Doubtful.
But could he go out there and prove that he is a very serviceable guard in this league? I think he can. I think he is. So it's going to take a lot for Jaylon Moore to beat him out. So let's see what happens. Let's see if Moore can go get it done. The one thing we do know, we have 2 good options at guard. And who knows, maybe Spencer Burford's going to go on there, come through and try to shake this thing up and get involved and potentially steal Jaylon Moore's spot.
Listen, that very well could be the case as well. You can't count it out, Ant. But listen, I'm not willing to count on Daniel Brunskill at all. I said it last year. I thought he was going to hold that spot down, and he did. He held it down. We're coming into a new year, new challenger approaches, and Jaylon Moore and potentially Burford. And my confidence is not shaken in Daniel Brunskill. I know what he can do. I know what his weaknesses are. And as a coach, when you know what the best version of a player is and you also know what his weaknesses are, it allows you and affords you the opportunity to be able to build a game plan and attack plan around the strengths and weaknesses of your player. Jaylon Moore, you know what his strengths are, and you may even know what his weaknesses are, but you don't know what that level of consistency is yet because he didn't have those starts under his belt. If you're comfortable with it in training camp, you're going to roll the dice with it, and hopefully it's a better version of what you have in Daniel Brunskill. But he's going to have to prove it. It's a big hill to climb. Daniel Brunskill's not some little mountain, little molehill out there that Jaylon Moore's just going to be able to step on and be like, sorry, young grasshopper, this is my job now. Like, he's going to have to work and prove it. Daniel Brunskill has an impressive resume. He's done some impressive things in this league. There have been some bad, absolutely, but everyone has good and bad on the resume. It's not always perfect. It's not always crystal clear that this is the greatest at the position. But what he is stable. What he is serviceable, like you mentioned and brought up, and what he is consistent. He has been there. He has been healthy. He's been available, and he has performed for the 49ers time and time again.
Yeah, he has, and he makes his offensive line better. Whether he's a starting offensive lineman or he's a backup, he makes this team better. So I think Daniel Brunskill is somebody the 49ers are glad to have. He's got a pay raise every single year he's been in the league, and this year he's going to be playing for the most amount he's ever made. I think he's going to go out there and he's going to play at a high level. And Jaylon Moore is going to have to absolutely go steal this from him because I don't think Brunskill is going to let it go. He's a very good player. Now, we are going to have to monitor the knee tendonitis that he's been been dealing with. Could that potentially creep up and cause some issues for him? Yeah, it could. I think he's going to be healthy and ready to go when we get to training camp because he's a guy that just doesn't miss football games. And Jaylon Moore's got a lot to live up to. If the 49ers get Jaylon Moore at right guard and Aaron Banks at left guard in this cycle of the 2022 season, they have done something absolutely fantastic, and that is build, draft and get two guys that are going to be starters for years to come. That could be huge. One problem, Brunskill ain't going nowhere, and I don't know if Jaylon Moore's going to be able to beat him out. I love the athleticism of Jaylon Moore. I love his physical traits, all the things that he could do. But Daniel freaking Brunskill is just, for some reason, one of those guys that gets it done. And why would you bet against him? A guy that went all the way from the AAF all the way, to where he is now with the 49ers as a starter. There's just no quitting this guy, and I'm not going to count him out. So, Jaylon Moore, you're going to have to go win this job.
And Jaylon Moore, if you do land that haymaker and you knock him down and he stumbles a little bit and gets right back up and then starts dominating all over the place, instead of standing there saying, why won't you die, just get back to work and grind, because Daniel Brunskill is not going to go away without a fight. And I don't expect Jaylon Moore to, too. I expect this to be one of the more underappreciated camp battles during this preseason.
Yeah, I love offensive line camp battles. I don't think that we get, enough love for them. I don't think a lot of people are going to talk about it, but this is one of the good ones. I can't wait to get there. I mean, last year we were focused on offensive line, and we seen the Compton, Colton McKivitz things happening. We were waiting for the Banks thing to happen, and it just never developed. I think this one will develop. Banks versus Brunskill didn't end up being a real battle, but Moore versus Brunskill is a real battle, and that's going to be fun to watch. I mean, who's going to watch the offensive line? I know I am. That's going to be exciting.
I mean, I would be stunned if you didn't, and I would be absolutely stunned if you did it. But TCC, let us know in the comment section below right now who you think of these two gentlemen. Who's coming out on top? Who will be the starting right guard for the 49ers? And Mr. Corey, why will Daniel Brunskill then be the starting right tackle if Jaylon Moore were to become the starting right guard? We already know that you're going to make the pitch, so you might as well make it down in the comment section below for everybody at this very point in time. And then while you're down there commenting, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because more camp battles, more content, more streams, more 49ers news. A lot of happening right now in 49ers land, which means more things to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot more to talk about. And that's the thing. We're building towards the season. Training camp is just around the corner, and we're just around the corner from 3K subs. So help us get there. Help us reach that number. And we're trying to get there before training camp. And then training camp's going to be full go. I mean, this is going to be fun. We're going to have things to talk about every single day about the 49ers. And the season doesn't slow down after that, so we won't slow down either. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll catch you on the next one. TCC and the Faithful, help us get to 3K today. And until the next time, stay safe.
And remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.